The question I wrote at the time that I was booking the session was, how can I practice approaching safely or realize when my opponent is approaching unsafely? And what are some of my options as opposed to or in terms of approaching horizontally or aerially and defending myself if I'm anticipating that approach from my opponent?
With regards to somebody, I guess we could try to frame this in a couple different ways. Actually, this is going to be a good question to answer, I guess you could say. But ultimately, we'll start with your opponent approaching you aggressively or unsafely first. Okay, so if I'm going to approach you, there's some, let's say, basic ways that would be unsafe. So there's moves that are unsafe. So obviously, if I go for like a dash attack, an F smash, like a dash grab, and I miss, those things are considered to be unsafe moves to approach with, I guess you could say. Like this, I'll do it from a distance. There it is. But that much of a win box. If I throw out like a grab and I miss, right, then that's something you could punish with your own, let's say, whiff punish. Okay. That being said, as far as why I would do something like that, there's going to be some context behind it. So instead of just saying these moves are unsafe, if you see these moves, then punish that. Like, that's all good and well. But there's going to be a reason why I would go for something as far as randomly going for it, or also maybe, let's say, you bait me into going for it. Okay. So based on positioning, there's going to be a reason why I would lunge at you with something. I guess you could compare it to, let's say, if you've ever had a pet or you've ever seen any sort of animal that's scared. If they're ever in a corner, or like, let's say they're in, like, I don't know, the back of a kennel and they don't want to get grabbed, like let's say you're trying to like get them out of a pet shop or something, and they're just backing up, backing up, backing up. If they have nowhere else to go, eventually they're going to try and bite you, especially a cat. Not all cats, but lots of cats. So if I, let's say, for example, if I'm scared of you, if I'm backing up, backing up, backing up, backing up, eventually I have nowhere to go. My only other option is to fight you, or in the case of a cat, bite you or scratch you or something. So if you have someone in a position where they would lunge at you unsafely, this is where you can try to take advantage of that. On top of me lunging at you from the corner, because I have what am I going to do? If I go out here, I might die, right? So I can't really do that. I can try to go around you, but if I had no other choice, like let's say I can try and go above you, but if you catch that, that's obviously bad. The other option is to try and fight you. So if you have someone in the corner, this is where you have, I guess, stage control, but you also have, you can use your stage as a resource, or the stage that you have behind you as a resource. Okay, you have all this space, and I've heard of this or seen people refer to this as using the stage almost like a special meter. The more space you have behind you, the more special you have built up. And as far as special meter, you can think of it as get out of jail for free by backing up. So you can only use your meter as you build it up. And by building it up, you're also taking stage or winning neutral or pushing your opponent back in disadvantage, okay? If I'm all the way up to here, let's say I have basically max special meter, because if anything gets crazy, I have my get out of jail free card, which is back up as far as I want to escape a bad situation. So you can use this to your advantage too, to say, okay, if I have special meter all the way up to here and you have basically none, the only way you can get special meter back potentially is to try and fight for it.
So fight my way up like that.
Yeah. So if you try and jump over me, here's the thing. You can jump and go like this and try and get past me. You can jump and you can try and air dodge or whatever and just escape. But if you've now, let's say, done this and you get all the way over here, and all I did was just track you and go over here, now we're the same situation, but on the other side. So you still don't really have anything.
You can always be faster on the ground than you can in the air.
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't think there's a single character. Maybe like if it was like super extreme, like Jigglypuff in the air versus like Incineroar on the ground, then yes, you can outspeed him in the air. But most characters on the ground are much faster than most characters in the air, right? So the other option too, let's say if you were to try and come down here and not go across the entire stage, once again, you put yourself into a position to have to try and fight your way down, which I don't recommend doing more often than not. If I had to jump over you and I go like this, right? Or jump over you and come down with like a nair, or let's say if let's get scared and I go like this and trying to air dodge low to the ground, all of these things are not safe. If I happen to land on your shield with an attack, you can up B out a shield, grab out a shield, up smash, depending on the move. Or if I air dodge, you don't have to shield at all. You can just go for a dash attack, and then once again, take more of that special or more of that stage and push me off stage again. So ultimately what it boils down to is I have to fight you eventually, no matter what. And obviously even just as far as getting kills, I'm never going to get a kill by doing 0 damage and just running away the entire time. Right? Even Sonic still puts on damage. He doesn't just do nothing, right? So as far as if someone's going, let's say, going to lunge at you from a certain position, it's probably going to be if they're in the corner, they have to fight for it, right? Or let's say we'll go to the center of the stage, or like more mid stage like this. If we'll say like here and here, almost like, let's say it's almost even. If we're in a position like this, why would someone lunge at you or why would they not? I guess you could say people can use a bait. This is the other part I was talking about. So if I was like, let's say, go like for a falling up air, right? Or run up and go for a down tilt with like a fair, something like that. You'll notice that I'm risking being wrong in an attempt to try and take more stage. I'm not actually trying to hit you. I'm trying to get to this point, and if I hit you, that's great. But ultimately, another win in my book would be to actually just make you dash away from me or back up. Right?
Oh, interesting. So not only so you're both intercepting them if they like did come up there, but you're also creating pressure for them to back up and winning stage control at the same time. Huh.
Exactly. So I do this all the time, whether I'm playing as Mithra or Falco or Roy or literally any character at all. If they have some sort of fast poking tool, the idea of a poke is that I want to throw out something that is quick, and if I'm wrong, I can still stay safe. So run up, down tilt. If I'm wrong, I can back up, right? So I have to, let's say, I'm trying to think how I want to frame this. I'm going to risk my percent to try and venture out and gain some special or some stage, right? If I'm right, I can stay here. Let's say if I actually hit you, I can continue to push further and further and get a ledge trap. If I'm wrong, I guess you could say this special meter is almost like unrealized gains, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah.
Unrealized gains would be this part where if I lunge at you and try and get something, if I'm wrong, since it's unrealized gains, I can just back up and go back to where I was. Nothing gained, nothing lost. That's the idea of that, as far as why would somebody lunge at me or not. As far as the timing of why somebody would or wouldn't, in some cases, I will say it's legit. Someone just feels like making a risk and they want to try and catch you off guard. But more often than not, someone's going to lunge at you when they see that you've made some sort of mistake, or they're going to anticipate that you're going to try and approach them with a move that is not, I guess not safe, but like it has counterplay to it. So based on a habit of yours, or based on something that you've shown
That's
me
kind of
through
a
a pattern.
read-based attack.
Yes. Let's say if we're both like dashing back and forth, and we both dash and lunge at each other at the exact same time. Let's just say it happened in a perfect world. We do it at the exact same time. I go up and go for, let's say, an up tilt, whereas you go for like a landing fair. If you try and do a landing fair and I go for an up tilt, I'm probably going to win that interaction because my attack's going to come out sooner than yours. So The next part of the puzzle would be, okay, so we both lunged at each other. We both had a reason for doing it. Why did I choose up tilt and why did you choose landing fair? From the very, very beginning of the game, there's not a lot of information as to say why someone would or wouldn't do that. This is where your natural playstyle comes into play to say, okay, I, as a player, gravitate towards down tilt, or I, as a player, gravitate towards landing fair. Reason being is because you have down tilt combos, or you have landing fair combos. For example, there's other better aerials than landing fair, but I'm just saying as an example, right? So I could do like landing fair into forward tilt. I can go landing fair into dash attack, right? Or you can do like down tilt, up B. You can get down tilt into fair. You can get down tilt into raw back air, down tilt up B, whatever you want, right? Something. You can be fancy, something like that. And another big part of it as well. Yeah, exactly. We're on the fancy stage too, so you gotta do it to them, right? As far as let's say you got that combo. And after you get your up B, the combo obviously is over. So from there, what you want to try and do is now track where I'm going and trap my landing. Okay, so let's say you hit the up B, and it pushed me basically to here. So what you want to do here is get in a position to take as much stage as you possibly can without having me be able to retaliate or reverse you for being successful for what you just did. And what I mean by that...
If I land right in front of you, I'm going to be landing probably after you land. So if I land too close, then you're in a position to retaliate.
Yeah, especially if you're also in free fall like this. If you're like that, of course your up B sends me far enough away that you can, or you do have options to escape pressure from getting reversed. But if let's say you go like this, let's say if you hit me to the right and you go like this, and then you drift as far towards me as you possibly can, and I just fall straight down right beside you, it's like, okay, well, you might be able to do something first, but you probably have to jab, right? If you don't jab or shield, then I'm probably going to be able to punish you first. So I wouldn't recommend that. But of course, you have the ability to drift while you're in the air. So you can drift away from me, just get your damage, or you can just drift, like, let's say if you hit me off stage, just go like straight back down, whatever it might be. And then from here, you can just go for your traditional ledge trap. But ultimately, this is a big thing too, and I was talking about this earlier with the other guy. As far as once you've gotten your damage or you push somebody somewhere, this is where you want to try and apply pressure, or I guess you could say, I don't know if I call it passive pressure or like soft pressure or something like that, where it's like you're not lunging at me continuously and like going like this and like going way off stage, because you don't have to do that. But once you've actually done your damage and you've taken your stage, I guess don't give up your special meter for free. Just because you've knocked me off stage, like, okay, I did my damage. It's a great day. I'm technically winning by 35. I'm going to go over here now, reset, and do the whole thing all over again, right? You don't have to do that because you've also earned the right to keep your special by having someone off stage. So let's say if I roll on stage, and this is where I used to think about this a lot. Like when I was first getting into the game, I never understood how stage control really worked, as far as to say, okay, so let's say you're ledge trapping me right here, and let's say, oh, I'm messing up. Let's say I go like this. If I roll on stage and I get here, do I have stage control? Technically, yes, but this is in a world where we don't talk about frame advantage. Also the percent as well too. So let's say if I roll on stage, you're technically in the corner, but during that roll, I'm not safe. Right?
During that roll, you're giving me enough time to realize I can do something like that.
Yeah, you can either hit me, you can get another combo, you can go for like a grab and back, throw me back off stage, you can go for a dash attack, you can go for an F smash across the stage, now catch me over here, right? Another big part of this as well too is just the emotional state or the mentality behind the player who's actually losing or being ledge trapped, or a person that is losing control of the situation or losing control of the stage, right? Because I'll tell you right now that, let's say, we'll do it over here. If I'm on the ledge, so come a little bit closer so I can roll past. Yeah, so if I go like, no, that's all good. We'll do it again. So if I go like this and I roll past you, instinctually, you should also be thinking that just because I rolled on stage, I don't think I now have control of the situation. 9 times out of 10, if I roll on stage successfully, unless you throw out like an F smash and you completely miss, I'm probably going to run from you. So if I roll, I'm probably going to do this, or I'm going to do this and try to escape. If you throw out, like, let's say a down smash or an F smash, you completely miss, I might go for like a forward tilt or like an instant dash attack and try and catch you. But it had to be a pretty bad mistake on your part. So with this in mind, if you know that if I happen to get on stage, I'm probably going to run away from you. If you're ledge trapping me, I guess, at low percent, you don't want to go for a huge risk where you can give up stage control and you do get reversed. So at the low percents, you should be looking for forward tilt, jumping back with back air, going for down tilt. Maybe going for a grab if you're very sure of what they're going to go for, so you can get more of a punish, right? Let's say down throw up B or something. At low percent, at like 40, you don't really want F smash. Like if you get it, that's great, but like it's too big of a risk that if you happen to miss it, if I see you clearly missed, even if I rolled on stage, I can dash towards you, get my own down tilt, up B, send you off stage, now I get a chance to ledge trap you.